Cameroon marks the 49th edition of its National Day in prayers and meditation, void of the traditional military parade and popular fanfare, as the COVID-19 pandemic confines the celebrations in churches and military barracks. Despite the COVID-19 restriction, the Cameroonian Defense Forces continue to exemplify the warmth and complicity that exists between the army and the nation, a complicity that constitutes a win-win tandem. The Catholic Church that is in Yaoundé comes together in a prayer session today to invoke divine intervention in helping Cameroon come out of its current health and security challenges. Those are our lead stories. Hello, I am Ben Menopufong in Yaoundé. Thanks for joining us, and this is the 7:30 News.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Cameroon is today marking its National Day, the 49th since the merger of East and West Cameroon this same day in 1972. Owing to anti-COVID-19 exigencies, this year's celebrations, like last year's, were confined to military barracks, with the hoisting of the national flag and the chanting of the national anthem being the main events. Kilian Ndifon saw it happen at the headquarters brigade and the National Gendarmerie headquarters here in Yaoundé, and now reports.
The ministry delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, at the military headquarters brigade in Yaoundé, accompanied by army chiefs of staff and other senior military officers for the national event, with the solemnity that goes with May 20. But for the parade, special military honors and hoisting of the flag are both symbolic and practical display of the military attachment to peace, stability, integrity, sovereignty and unity of Cameroon. Captured in this year's commemoration theme, Army and Nation, together let us overcome our health and security challenges and preserve the peace, stability and prosperity of Cameroon. At different command levels across the country, the flag flew high to the same event. The National Gendarmerie raised it to the honor and loyalty of the nation. In the presence of the Secretary of State at the Ministry of Defense in charge of the National Gendarmerie, Galaxy Toga, in the company of senior officers and selected officials from the various ranks, the national flag hoisted to the tune of the national anthem during the event, used as an occasion for the Gendarmerie boss Galaxy Toga to be presented the new central administrative building of the Corps. The new edifice falls in line with the policy of the High Command, not only to modernize the defense and security forces, but also to provide for them a comfortable working environment and improve on the conditions of living of all the staff.
It is the second straight year that Cameroon is marking its National Day without military parade and other popular festivities owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. Yaoundé city dwellers especially missed the grandiose civilo-military parade at the May 20 Boulevard that usually gives them the opportunity to commune with their president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Cynthia Saptala captured the rather gloomy atmosphere that prevailed at some of the traditional action sports in the capital city and reports that it was a national day like no other.
On no other 20th May will one dare such a feat. Climb the stairs to the presidential tribune where only state officials are usually seated for the military parade. 11 a.m., still no sirens to announce the arrival of the head of state. It is rather a parade of vehicles crisscrossing the avenue as if it were any ordinary day. It is probably the only few times one gets to see activities like this on a day like this one. Some washing cars alongside, others having a nail cut, while street hawkers walk freely by the tribune. And for this vendor of local candies, this may be the only opportunity for a view like this.
Cameroon's National Day of Unity, and what are we doing here? Could we walk here like this?
Even right up there, nobody could have stand up there. People are moving freely. No military people, no police. So everything is just...
2021's Day of National Unity was celebrated like this in the heart of town. Shops, businesses and offices closed. But for market squares, still bustling. It is, after all, a feast day, despite this pandemic.
Away from Yaoundé, we take you first to the Northwest region, where the national colors were honored to mark 20th May at the 5th Joint Military Region and 5th Gendarmerie Legion. The day also saw the award of medals to some professionals from different fields for their services to the nation. As we hear in this report by Mabel Mekemde, the event was presided over by Governor Lele Lafrique Aldov.
Bamenda on May 20. Simultaneous flag hoisting events unfold at the 5th Joint Military and Gendarmerie Regions, a sign of the Defense Forces' commitment in peace restoration efforts in a region hit by unrest.
We are really glad being working every day now with the population, and we're really calling upon our forces, our elements also, to be nearer with the population and be working together.
These 69 medal recipients have defied the security situation to render outstanding services to the population. Northwest Governor Adolphe Lele Lafrique, who decorated the medal recipients, offers this special reception at his upstation residence, attended by the region's dignitaries. This as the celebration of the National Day continues in the Northwest region.
And in the Southwest region, while inhabitants of Boya went about their activities, security and administrative authorities marked the National Day with a flag hoisting ceremony at the governor's office. Humbo's Suzy Monjowa reports on the solemnity of the COVID-19 induced low-key event.
It was a day unlike any other at the Southwest Governor's office. The solemn and brief ceremony to honor the national colors marked the 49th National Day in the region. Characterized by music and the hoisting of the flag, the special event took place in the presence of administrative authorities and security officials. Although no major activities were organized to commemorate the National Day, Cameroonians in the Southwest region are conscious of the fact that it is a day that celebrates national unity and immortalizes the identity of the nation.
The defense forces in the far north region also proceeded with a flag hoisting ceremony at the headquarters of the 4th Combined Military Region. The brief ceremony was presided at by the commander of the 4th Combined Military Region, Major General Salim Muhammadu, who enjoined the population to go about their daily activities without fear. Henry Tato Ekambi reports from Marwa.
In strict military style, the flag hoisting ceremony, pregnant with meaning, on this National Day unfolded at the 4th Combined Military Region. With their chins up, chests out, shoulders back with no facial expressions, the men in uniform faced the flag and executed the national anthem. After the brief flag hoisting ceremony, the defense forces dished out the message they had prepared for the populace.
The population should not be afraid of Boko Haram. They should go about their activities in the spirit of celebration of our national unity, because there is relative calm in the region.
The army and the population here are now hoping that the calm that has characterized the start of 20th May will continue and spread to the whole nation.
Down in the littoral region, the governor, Samuel Diodone Ivahadiboa, said honoring the national flag is demonstrating respect towards the nation and its values. He was speaking as he chaired a flag hoisting ceremony in Douala to mark the 2021 National Day in the region. From Douala, Dixon Ashu reports.
Cameroon for the 49th time celebrates national integrity, and no better way to commemorate amid COVID-19 than raising its national colors. The region's top legislator, Littoral Governor, stands in honor alongside the military corps of the 2nd Joint Military Region in the special ceremony imposed by the current health crisis.
The hosting of the flag this morning is to show that Cameroon is a state who is standing for life. When we are standing in front of the flags, we are telling all of us that we recognize our belonging to one nation in front of these flags.
The ceremony is brief, and they meet afterwards behind closed doors to put the occasion to context, and certainly reviewed the security situation in the region and evaluated the military's relations with civilians. The health context calls for caution, and in respect to prescribed safety guidelines, they mark the first conscious of their duty vis-à-vis the nation.
In the south, east and north regions, similar ceremonies took place in strict military fashion with the flag hoisted to pay tribute to the nation. Highlights of these ceremonies in this joint report with Derek Alegnue, Celestine Sumbele and Wilson Mengale.
At the 11th Motorized Infantry Brigade, like in the police force and the gendarmerie, the hoisting of the national flag and the singing of the national anthem takes center stage. Without the usual military parade during this day, General Aswalai Blama, commander of the 11th Motorized Infantry Brigade, used this occasion to remind his elements of their duty as regards the security of the population.
We do not face security issues here, but we must ensure that peace and stability reign in our territory.
Some Christians in Bolova have organized church services to mark the National Day celebrations, during which they prayed for the end of the health security challenges plaguing the nation.
In the absence of the traditional National Day public manifestations due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the 49th edition of the National Day in the East region was marked by the hosting of the national flag at the 14th Motorized Infantry Battalion base in Betua, in the presence of the commander of the 12th Motorized Infantry Brigade, Brigadier General Noma Joseph. The soldiers hosted the national colors in a strict and solemn military style. Though void of the usual National Day parade, the symbolic ritual is a reminder of the pivotal role the defense forces play to the territorial integrity of the country.
There are 76 in number who have distinguished themselves in different socio-economic domains in the North region. They were fixed medals ranging from Order of Valor, Cameroon Order of Merit, and Labour Medal by the Governor of the North Region, Jean Abateidzi.
This medal is also, for me, an encouragement to move forward.
To other recipients, the medals are as a result of hard work and are calling on the younger generation to emulate their example. The 49th edition of the National Day in Karua was celebrated without the usual fanfare due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The same ritual was performed in the West and Adamawa regions, as Chet Tembuk and Silas Quine tell us in this joint report.
The question of keeping COVID-19 under check, come what may, is being heeded during the solemn ceremony of the hoisting of the flag, be it at the regional base of the National Gendarmerie, West Legion, or at the 9th Military Sector in Bafoussam. Soldiers assembled to manifest their love for the country. They did so in style and the usual way. Stand at attention when the national flag is being hoisted. It was a manifestation of their determination to defend the national flag at all times, circumstances when duty calls. The hoisting of the national flag at the 9th Military Sector took place under the command of Colonel Anyang Frederick Eno.
As the national flag was being raised high at the esplanade of the Adamawa Governor's office, defense and security forces unfurled their patriotism and pride. Even though everything was put in hibernation this year in order to crush the dreadful COVID-19 pandemic, the memory of May 20 remained very fresh and vivid in the region. The governor, while chairing the flag-raising ceremony in Yaoundé, reiterated the importance of the COVID-19 vaccines.
So far, we are giving proof of our determination to fight against the virus.
National colours fluttered atop government and private buildings this Thursday, solidifying the tradition of honour and respect to the nation.
Cameroonians have been urged to shun ethnic differences and embrace love, peace and unity, irrespective of their socio-cultural differences. The call was made today in Yaoundé by the Metropolitan Archbishop of Yaoundé, His Grace Jean Barga, while celebrating the 6th edition of the National Prayers to commemorate the National Day of Cameroon. The head of state was represented by the Minister Director of the Civil Cabinet of the Presidency of the Republic, Samuel Mvondo Ayolo. King Edwards reports.
The celebrations of the Pontifical High Mass for the nation at the Mary Queen Basilica of the Apostles in Voye on the occasion of the country's National Day began with the arrival of the Minister, Director of the Civil Cabinet at the Presidency, Samuel Mvondo Ayolo, personal representative of the Head of State, President Paul Biya, with the Central Regional Governor, Nasiri Paul Biya, on hand to welcome him. With songs of glorification, the College of Praise made the solemn procession that led to the celebration of the Holy Eucharist, attended by scores of cabinet ministers, some distinguished personalities and Christians. Amongst them was CRTV's Director General, Sean Dongo. The thought-provoking homily of the chief celebrant, His Grace Jean Barga, dwelled on national consciousness, in which he described the nation as a gift from God that requires God's children to render selfless service to the nation without discrimination.
The national conscience can be understood as a vocation to which citizens are called by God. It is one thing to be born in a nation, another to love and serve it. It is one thing to be a citizen, and another to be a patriot.
The Metropolitan Archbishop of Yaoundé said Cameroonians and Christians in particular need to cultivate respect for Republican and Christian values of national unity, peace and love for one another. Values that are so dear to the President of the Republic, Paul Biya. Supplications were also made for peace and stability in the country and a spirit of oneness and mutual tolerance. In a very solemn manner, the Archbishop performed the act of the consecration of the nation to the Holy Virgin Mary, followed by symbolic and magnificent gift of a sculpture of the Blessed Holy Mary, destined to the President of the Republic and handed over to his representative, Minister Samuel Mvondo Ayolo, before the close of the highly animated Pontifical High Mass for the nation.
And I've just been joined now in the studio by the Chief Unity Palace correspondent, Ashu Niente, with whom we will be putting the 2021 National Day celebrations in Cameroon in their rightful context. Good evening, Ashu, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Ben. Thank you for having me as your guest tonight.
Now, you've just been watching the pictures there. Owing to a presidential order, the National Day 2021 in Cameroon has been celebrated nationwide, void of any military parade and any civilian march past. How would you explain that?
Well, it is simple. First of all, before I answer your question, let me say this is not the first time such is happening. The first time was in 1984. Remember, after the national security issues on the 6th of April 1984, there was no 20th May that year. Secondly, it was last year, of course, because of the marauding COVID-19 pandemic, the celebrations were called off, and this is a third time that is being done, of course, to enable Cameroonians to protect themselves, to observe the barrier measures. No more than 50 people are supposed to congregate at any one time. So President Paul Biya took that decision. But that should not dilute, of course, the essence of national unity, which goes beyond ceremonies. National unity is about a posture, about a state of mind. Of course, who we are, who we think, our perception as Cameroonians, one people, one nation, and the same destiny. So if the celebrations are cancelled 1 or 2 times, that has nothing to do with this idea of national unity, which is deeper, it is more profound, and it's of long-term benefit than just circumstantial ceremonies which are organized here and there.
Now, thank you for those explanations, but I want to ask you, the theme this year is laying emphasis on the tandem between the army and the nation, and as they work together in preserving the country's peace and its stability. What is the profundity of this theme by your own reckoning?
You know, the health challenge is a security challenge. It's like a war, health war, which is being fought, and Cameroon's security or defense paradigm is popular defense. That is to say, at all times, the army of this country works in tandem with the nation, with the population, to be able to eradicate any challenge, any threat. This one is one of such threats, just like the security challenges we have in the country. If the people are not in good health, they will not be able to help the army in its regalian duties, because the people provide not only intelligence, they provide support and other forms of cooperation. Therefore, there must be this synergy of action between the army and the population, the nation, to be able to eradicate COVID-19, which is the existential threat that we have right now, just like we have other security challenges in other parts of the country.
It is 49 years today that Cameroon is celebrating the concept of national unity. 49 years down the line, would you say that it has been a smooth ride, or there are some areas that need to be touched so as to consolidate this dream of national unity?
Ben, I think I would be a liar if I were to say that there has been no challenge to our quest for national unity. I said a while ago, since 1984, there was the first attempt to challenge the unity and integrity of this country to Republican institutions, to bring them, to call them to question. In the 1990s, we had political upheavals, massive political upheavals. You remember the red card in the early 1990s? That was also a major challenge. You remember also Boko Haram attacked this country from the northern half of this country. And President Paul Biya declared war on Boko Haram on the 17th of May 2014. That was in Paris during that press conference, because the idea behind Boko Haram was to create what we call a caliphate, the Kanem-Bono Caliphate, grouping the 3 northern regions of this country, Adamawa, the north, and the far north region. And so President Paul Biya had to come all out. That is another challenge. But the most decisive challenge to our national unity has been what has been happening in the last 5 years, especially the last 4 years, when it became violent. That is to say, the socio-political unrest in the northwest and southwest regions. That has called to question the theory of unity and the indivisibility of this country. So we have been trying to see how to make amends, to improve on our model of unity. President Paul Biya said in 2019 at the Paris Peace Forum that things could be done differently. On the 31st of December 2017, President Paul Biya said, and I quote, that our own experience has not been perfect. There are possibilities to improve on what we are doing. So we have to remain open to new ideas. In fact, we have to take the bull by the horns. End of quote. That to me was an indication of honesty. It was an expression of a political will from the president to make things better. So yes, directly, our unity has not been a smooth sail. There have been ups and downs, twists and turns, a topsy-turvy. But at the end of the day, there is that demonstrated, expressed political will by the #1 citizens of this country to make things better for all Cameroonians who live in this country, that they should feel that they all belong to the same nation, a country which has the same destiny, and for which all the sons and daughters have to put their hands on deck to work for its progress and its development.
Thank you very much, Ashu Nyenti, for those inputs.
Thank you very much.
And we continue on this newscast to say the national celebrations have always been an opportunity for the army and the civilian populations to exemplify the complicity that binds them as they work to maintain the nation as a single and indivisible entity, as Ashu Nyenti was saying. Constantine Baum now brings to the fore the degree of collaboration and solidarity that has kept the two trudging on together over the years.
The relationship between citizens and the security and defense forces is changing fast like never before, created on the back of fighting a bloody domestic insurgency against colonialism. After 60 years, the army has anchored firmly in doctrine that ensures the security of the people and the nation. Many events have brought the people and the army very close. The widespread and systematic attacks by Boko Haram saw Cameroonians coming together as one people, one nation to support the army. The performance of the army mobilized the entire nation around their new role as provider of people-centered security services against indiscriminate suicide bombs, kidnapping, hostage-taking, torture, and abduction. The army today is the army of the people, emerging as an organic platform for displaying patriotism to the extent that the army now replaces football as an unparalleled rallying point for Cameroonians. The socio-political crisis in the northwest and southwest regions has played its own role in cementing the relationship between the army and the citizens. Peace and stability is gradually returning thanks to the sacrifices made by the defense forces. Schools have resumed today in some areas with activities back to normal as the army continues to stand tall for the people. Many schools in Cameroon today have benches coming from the various units of the army, with new schools constructed in some areas. In doing so, the role of the army as security provider is more apparent and visible to citizens. It is not just defending the country's territorial integrity, but also providing direct security and other services. Military medical specialists have carried out health outreach campaigns to remote areas. All these have helped build a solid bond. The army is increasingly viewing the security of the people as an emerging social contract, earning their mandate, with many citizens from the east, west, south, north seeing the Cameroonian army as the army of the people.
And Cameroonians are commemorating their National Day this year, reflecting on the theme that does a blend of the army and the nation facing up to the health, security challenges and the preservation of peace, stability and prosperity of the country. A theme that engages the army-nation tandem to liaise in eliminating threats to the peace, stability and integrity of the country. Beatrice Losamba now reads meaning in the 2021 National Day theme.
The Army-Nation Alliance, referred to in this year's National Day theme, as in most themes chosen during yearly celebrations of the unitary state, borrows from the idea that the uphill struggle to maintain a peaceful, stable, secure and prosperous nation can only be successful when the two are doing the same dance steps.
The army and the nation are a formidable pair as they work together. The army does not only ensure security and safety of persons and goods, she contributes to the socio-economic development of the nation.
The 49th National Day theme appeals to this pair to liaise, first of all, to overcome COVID-19. The security sector has become a key part of the country's pandemic response. The military is supporting compliance with COVID-19 restrictions, rolling out a COVID-19 vaccination program, and supporting community testing, also assisting with logistics. We haven't seen a heavy-handed security response. It is more of guaranteeing protection for the population. In line with the theme, a lot of efforts need to be invested in breaking barriers to building a relationship between the two so the civilian population can share vital security information in conflict zones of the northwest, southwest and far north as well as east regions where the military needs to build a safety wall.
Well, as Cameroon celebrates its National Day today, the youths who constitute the majority of the population are being urged to reflect on their role in nation building. The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education has been highlighting some of the opportunities being put at their disposal to ease their involvement in the promotion of Cameroon's socio-economic development. Salis Sonata Faha reports on the imperative of inculcating Republican values in youths as they look up to taking over from the elderly generation.
The government's agenda to promote youth entrepreneurship is off the ground and flying towards greener horizons.
The head of state has put in place many socio-economic integration programs, which is already producing some results, and we use them to mentor all the young people, to encourage them through the moral, civic and entrepreneurial rearmament.
opportunities which some young people are unaware of, and as a result, choose the path of uncivic behaviors.
Those who are involved in peace building, they should continue to sensitize their peers that there are opportunities that they can seize and to come out from bushes and come seize those opportunities to be integrated in the society.
Through the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, many of these entrepreneurship initiatives key to leveraging youth talents have taken off smoothly. The government's push, a true catalyst to youth expansion.
It's important that young people create wealth, create enterprises. If there is no enterprise to employ some other young people, will have always those who can be manipulated because they are unemployed and manipulated and can compromise our national unity.
As Cameroon celebrates its National Day, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education is sounding a call for young Cameroonians to engage in actions that are peaceable and profitable to them and the nation at large.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Health experts continue to express satisfaction over the fact that more and more Cameroonians are opting for the COVID-19 vaccine. However, there are fears at the risks involved in case the intended objectives of the whole exercise are not met. And this is the subject of discussion between Baldwin Sama and Dr. Andreas Njo at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center here in Yaoundé. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Ben Menopofong. The wish of the government is to have as many Cameroonians as possible vaccinated against the coronavirus during this ongoing vaccination campaign. But what are some of the risks in terms of a possibility where we have a low vaccination rate, a low coverage rate as far as vaccination against COVID-19 is concerned? Let's discuss that tonight with our guest, Dr. Andreas Njo, Deputy Permanent Secretary of the National Immunization Program. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening.
What are some of the risks involved in case of a low coverage rate, talking about the national vaccination against COVID-19?
Yes, of course. I think the goal of the vaccination program is to protect the population. And so for us to be fully protected, a huge number of the population has to be vaccinated against COVID-19. And so that is why Cameroon started targeting the high-risk group and moving on to over 20% expected to be vaccinated, and then hoping to roll out at least 70%. The more the population is vaccinated, the less likely the disease will spread amongst us. And that is why if we are unable to fully vaccinate the population, the risk will remain high for Cameroon population.
And how does the National Immunization Program intend dealing with cases of persons who are resisting the vaccination in order for the national vaccination campaign to meet this the intended objective?
In as much as vaccination against COVID is strongly recommended by the government, it is a gradual process. And that is why the vaccine rollout is progressive, beginning with a smaller high-risk group and scaling up progressively. And communication is also being done at every level to get the population informed, and I think this is one of the medium that the population is getting evidence and to make a good choice. And gradually we think that with time, more and more persons will successfully accept vaccination.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andreas Njo. Our take-home message is from here is we are encouraging Cameroonians, wherever they find themselves in the 10 different regions of the country, to accept the ongoing vaccination campaign against COVID-19 as one of the measures to break the contamination chain of this virus in the country. Back to you, Ben Menopofo.
Let's go back to the celebration of the National Day of Cameroon to say we've received tons and tons of messages addressed to the President of the Republic on the occasion of the celebration of the National Day of Cameroon. And there's this one from U.S. President Joseph R. Biden Jr. And it reads, "Dear Mr. President, on behalf of the American people, I congratulate you and the people of the Republic of Cameroon as you celebrate National Day on May 20. The United States remains committed to working with the Cameroonian government on our shared goals of peace and prosperity. I offer my best wishes for a joyous anniversary. Sincerely," and it has been signed, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America. And similar messages have also been received from President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt, Mohammed VI of Morocco, Denis Sassou Nguesso of Congo, Serge Mattarella of Italy, Abdul Hamid of Bangladesh, Milos Zeman of the Czech Republic, and the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand. That's where we'll leave it for the 7:30 news for this week. We'll be back again on Monday with yet another package. Thanks for watching, and do have great moments in the company of CRTV. Bye-bye.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.